Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well, and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about brands and brands that resell well on places like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. I've done quite a few of these brand videos in the past where I focus on giving you a number of brands that resell well. And today we're gonna be talking about brands that sell really well in fall. And so fall pieces, fall styles, fall brands we're gonna cover today. So these are gonna be things that should resell for pretty good money. So if you're out thrifting and you find these labels, you're gonna be able to recognize them because I always put up labels on the screen for you guys so that you guys know what you're looking for and you'll recognize it hopefully better when you find them out in the wild. So let's jump into what pieces are selling well right now for fall and what you should be looking at picking up in the coming months for this fall season. And if you guys like these videos, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. But let me scoot to the side and let's jump into it. So the first category we're going to be covering is booties. So booties are when a boot isn't like fully up to the knee. A bootie usually is a little shorter. Sometimes that has a heel, but also think Chelsea boots, things like that. And so our first brand for booties is going to be Doc Martens. Doc Martens sometimes are more like mid-calf, but for fall, Doc Martens are very popular, and so this is a great time to be finding them and listing them. I always love selling them, but especially fall and winter is a great time to be selling boots. So Doc Martens, especially the 1460s, do really well. So black does really well. Even if you find a funky color or pattern, those can do well. And a lot of Doc Marten boots sell for over $50 pretty easily. So I always will pick up Doc Martens, but this is a great time to sell them. So if you're on the fence about owning or selling a pair that you personally own, if you're going to sell them, now is the time. Now, another good brand for booties and boots in general is Everlane. I just recently sold their Boss Bootie, which is a pointed toe, just slight heel little boot that's a little shorter than mid-calf. I just sold that for $99 the other day, so $100. They're Boss boots, so the pointed toe leather boots, they sell for $75 and above pretty frequently. And then things like their leather day gloves, which are leather, just like ballet flats, another good transitional piece for fall. Those will sell for rallied around $50, sometimes more, a little bit less sometimes, but you're probably looking at a good $50, especially if they're leather. They also have some day gloves that are not leather, but those will not do as well. So I would focus on those from Everlane as those popular styles. And then another really popular boot brand for fall is Blundstones. So Blundstones have that very similar vibe to a Doc Marten where they have that pull on the back that's easy to recognize, except Blundstones have them on the back and the front, and so that makes them stand out a little bit more. Their leather Chelsea boots are really the key here. These are gonna do the best for you, and they will resell for $100 plus pretty much every time. Again, I'm gonna show you a picture of what the actual shoe looks like because I feel like Blundstones are easier to recognize because they have a pretty unique profile, and so I think that's gonna be what's helpful for you recognizing them in the thrift. But these are also a pair of shoes that I see end up at buy-sell trade stores quite frequently, like Plato's Closet, Uptown Cheapskate, Buffalo Exchange, things like that. Another little booty brand is Fry. Fry makes some really nice pieces. Their leather shoes in particular, their leather boots, especially tall leather boots for fall, are gonna resell for $75 plus. The taller the better for Fry boots, at least for fall and winter. Those will get the better resale value. And then this is one of my favorite shoe brands. I have only found them, I think, once, but it's a really good shoe brand to know in the reselling community, and that is Aloha's. These make really cute and really trendy shoes. If you find pretty much any shoe, they'll probably resell for $50 or more. But if you find any like chunky, any boots, any leather, knee-high, boots in general, all of those will resell for probably over $100. A lot of the things that are chunkier, more substantial, taller, leather, those are really gonna do well for you, but pretty much any shoe is gonna be good from this brand. If you're finding just like a little flip-flop, that's probably gonna be the only exception to this rule. So always look up styles while you're thrifting. That is the easiest way to mitigate any risk in your business. And then the last brand in the shoe category here is Birkenstocks. Birkenstocks are really popular right now, and they're a great fall shoe because honestly, I think they look the cutest when you wear them with socks. So Birkenstocks are a sandal, but a lot of the ones that are gonna be more popular now heading into fall are going to be the clogs, which are really hard to find right now. The clogs will sell, the Boston clogs will sell if they're leather for $65 and above, pretty much. So at least $50 for a Boston clog. A Birkenstock clog in general is gonna do well. And then the fluffy two-strap Arizona Birkenstocks will resell for over $60 as well. So anything with the shearling in the lining is really good, but then even just a regular Birkenstock is gonna do pretty well, maybe $40. And right now is the season to be listing them, because even though summer is a really popular time for Birkenstocks, with socks, they do really well transitionally. So that's a great shoe brand to know for fall. And then we're gonna head into cardigans. And I have some more like unique out there brands for you guys as well. Some of these are more like bread and butter brands, but I wanted to focus, really hone in on what things you could probably actually find with a few reaches in here as well. So you guys are appreciating this knowledge, this information I'm sharing with you guys. I would absolutely love it if you would hit the subscribe button. The first cardigan brand is Eileen Fisher. Eileen Fisher, I just, it's my bread and butter. I love Eileen Fisher. It sells really well, really consistently for me. Their cardigans are gonna resell for right around $35 and sometimes more, usually at least $35. And then it can be more depending on its fabric makeup. So if you have silk, wool, cashmere, even like Angora, those are gonna sell for more. And then after Eileen Fisher, we have Saison. And guys, Saison makes the cutest freaking sweaters. If you don't know this brand, I think they're French. Yeah, like more like French inspired style. And it is so good. If you find anything from this brand, it's gonna resell for a lot of money. But their cardigans, they're really known for some really cute styles of cardigans. And their cardigans are often worn as sweaters, just buttoned, so very cute. Saison cardigans, $75 and above. Really pricey pieces, and they will resell really well. Then number 3 is Barefoot Dreams. Barefoot Dreams has a lot of cozy things, so it makes it really nice for transitioning to fall and then into winter eventually. Their cardigans, right around $35, sometimes more for those, and especially depends on how long of a style you find and if it's more current. If it's newer, it's gonna do better, but they're very, very soft, very cozy pieces, just like the next one, which is Skims. Skims, if you can find sets or their fuzzier pieces, that's gonna be more of the fall vibe, and those are also gonna resell for good money, usually about $50 and above for something that's more like their fuzzy material, but also sets. And sets will go for even more than $50 usually too. And then something interesting is J. Crew for cardigans. And I'm not talking about the very basic cardigans from J. Crew. Those are only gonna get you like $15 or so. But if they are not basic cardigans, cardigans from J. Crew can resell for $40 and up. So if you have something knit, if you have a nice fabric content, if you have something that's more interesting, then you can get some pretty good money for J. Crew, which is great to know, because I feel like J. Crew is one of those brands that I see often in the thrift store. And so that's more attainable for sure if you're looking at reselling. And then Everlane made the list again for cardigans. They had some really cute ones selling for $40 to $50. They also have really sustainable practices, really kind of transparent practices. I like their brand. I like how they do their business, so I like to support them. But Everlane, really good one. And again, $40 to $50 for a cardigan is not bad. And then we have Anthropologie on this list. Now, not all Anthropologie is created equally, and some Anthropologie is better than others. I was seeing that the longer, the newer, or the more unique the piece is from Anthropologie, the more unique the cardigan is gonna do better. But a lot of them were selling for around $50, so I thought it was worth putting on here. We're looking at a lot of different brands from Anthropologie. If you guys don't know all the brands that fall under Anthropologie, then I have a video on this exact topic, so you can go ahead and check out. I'll link up that video either in the description or up above. But yeah, Anthropologie can do really well. And then MM Lafleur, a very good brand, and they sell really well. Their cardigans were reselling for $50 plus, even for just basic ones, which is an amazing price. Also, their dresses do really well. But anything that was new at tags from MM Lafleur, the cardigans were selling for over $100, which was really crazy. And the same thing with the next one, St. John. If you can find these pieces, they are worth such good money. I saw so many listed for over $100. I said that for a cardigan, you could look at $50 and above, so that can go up into the $100, $200 range, but some St. John pieces are more basic than others. There's actually a basics line from St. John, which will still sell for good money, but probably will not sell for as much as something like the evening line. So That is a great brand though to know for cardigans. And then we're going to transition into sweaters. So sweaters, one really good brand for reselling for sweaters is Free People, which some Free People pieces are like really older and not the vibe, but some of their newer things can go for a ton of money. People are looking for specific names of these pieces. So if you can ever find the actual style, that will go a long way with Free People. So for example, the Camden sweatshirt from Free People is selling for $50, sometimes more. And that's just resale value, not even new with tags, but you can get it for around 50 to 70 bucks. And then there's also the Ruby jacket, a super popular like sweatshirt, sweater kind of feel, but it's actually a jacket. That is really popular, and you can resell those for $50 plus pretty much all the time. I would say not less than 50. And then even just like any set from Free People that's gonna be cute for the fall. So either a long sleeve sweater with a pair of shorts or like a lounge set. Those were all reselling for $75 and up, which is really good. So I would be keeping your eye out for Free People. The newer labels are gonna do better. The newer styles are gonna do better. And then another interesting brand that maybe you might not know is Lisa Says Ga, which is a very interesting brand, and they have some really fun pieces. So of course I'll put the brands up on the screen so you can see what the tag looks like. But a lot of their sweaters were reselling for $50 and up, which is great. So I'm excited about that. And then we also have Aritzia on the brand list. And under Aritzia, we get Wilfred, Babaton, Tallulah, etc. Aritzia is kind of like Revolve and Anthropologie in that they carry lots of brands underneath them. Not exactly the same, but a lot of the sweaters from Aritzia were reselling for around 40 bucks, which is not bad. And then Reformation is also on this list. I mean, it's gonna vary a lot by what you find, but I would say about 50 bucks pretty easily for a Reformation sweater. And then also on this list is Lululemon, but again, some newer styles are gonna do a lot better than the older pieces. In particular, I'm looking at a couple in particular styles, like the oversized scuba hoodie. It doesn't have to have a hood. They have ones that don't, but that cut where it's wider is going to be really looked for this coming fall. That goes across the board. People aren't wanting as many fitted items right now for fall. It's definitely about the loosey-goosey kind of, feel. And so the scuba, the oversized hoodie, those resell for at least 70 bucks on Posh. And then the soft stream, the perfectly oversized, the cropped sweatshirts, those also resell for good money, usually around at least 50 bucks. Sometimes more. And then also anything that's crew neck or loose fit or has the Lululemon logo across it. People love having the Lululemon logo because they don't have that many pieces that have the Lululemon logo, like the actual Lululemon word written out. All of those are gonna fetch good money, at least 50 bucks, sometimes more like 100. So really, really good pieces from Lululemon. If you can find the pieces that are not skin tight, those are gonna do better. And then we're into flannels. So again, a good fall day has to have a flannel, either worn or tied around the waist. If you're at the pumpkin patch, you need a little flannel going on. So first up, we have Rails, which is pretty well known for flannels. The Hunter style goes around 35 and above. The Leo style around 30 as well. And then men's, the Lennox style goes for $40 and above. So it's always worth checking that flannel section because even though they might look like they're just from St. John's Bay, sometimes you'll hit the jackpot. Like Faherty, I know I'm probably butchering that. Give me some grace, please. So the Legend is the name of the style that does really well from them, 40 bucks and above usually. And then the Movement also 40 bucks and above. So those are just some styles that are pretty common that you could find. These are like men's pieces there. Mostly the Legend does the best, but the Movement was also good. So some good comps for sure on those. And then another amazing flannel brand is Dixon. So Dixon with 2 X's. It is pretty much anything from this brand. If you find a flannel, it will do great. Lots of them were selling for 80 bucks. So you're looking at $50 plus, probably right around $75 to $80 on any flannel, which is just, usually not something that gets marked up at the thrift store. So that's excellent. And then the last flannel I have on the list is Woolrich because they have some really good pieces. The vintage Woolrich chamois, they are going for like 30-ish. The vintage Aztec patterns, 40 plus, and then any shackets we're going for 40 plus. So things that are thicker, things that are more unique, of course, 40 bucks and above, which is not bad. And then we have jeans. So it's not fall without some denim. Some brands I wanted to highlight that I thought would be good to put on your radar are Good American. They have been doing really well lately, probably right around 50 bucks. And some of the things to look for from Good American are the high-rise pieces, good curve, good legs, and good classic. Those are some good styles to know, LOL. And then also mother jeans. Mother jeans are reselling for right around $60 and above is what I kind of wrote down. The wider the legs, the more interesting, the better. So the insider, anything that has a slight flare to the leg, the insider we're going for around 75 to 100 bucks. But this was really important that you use stock photos for those. Stock photos really made a difference on if something was selling or not. So unfortunately, that would be helpful to use for the mother jeans. The Tomcat and the Hustler were also pretty good too for comps. The only thing I would avoid is skinny jeans from Mother. Even if you find them for $2, buy them. But if you're paying up for them, I would not advise getting the skinny. I would say wider leg the better. That's what's just in right now. Then we have Mousy Vintage, Mousy with 2 S's. Pretty much anything from this was going for $75 and up, but if you find something that's new with tags, it will sell for $100 or more. So really good one. Pretty much anything from Mousy will sell. A lot of distressed jeans will sell really well, but surprisingly, coming off of Mother, their skinny and straight jeans do really well for Mousy. So it just depends on the brand and not necessarily on the style sometimes. And then we have Girlfriend jeans. So Girlfriend, it's spelled without any of the vowels in it. Pretty much $50 and up for a pair of jeans from them. We have the Helena High Rise, the Carolina High Rise, the Bella, and the Carla all do pretty well. And then a Goldie, another great jean brand, a good transition piece. A lot of things were reselling for $50 and up. The Riley jeans, the Parker shorts, the Pinch jeans, and anything high rise or mid rise is doing pretty good. So those are the jeans. And then we have leggings. So of course on the list is Lululemon again. Lululemon, their line Wonder Under and high rise will do really well. You are looking for newer fabric. If it's the old kind where all the things stick to it, that's not gonna do as well as the newer fabrics, but pretty much 50 bucks-ish for a pair of leggings, especially if they're full length from Lululemon. If they're cropped, they're not gonna be as much. Then we have Spanx, which is also about $50. So their Spanx leggings were doing really good. The Look At Me Now, anything faux leather, faux suede, and high-waisted are gonna do great for Spanx. Then Aloe Yoga, I was actually shocked by this because Aloe Yoga hasn't been on my radar lately, but things were going for around $50 and up. And so we had the Airlift, the high-waisted, airbrushed, moto or mesh styles were doing really well. So Aloe Yoga is officially back on my radar. And then surprisingly, Athleta leggings is on the list, but some Athleta pieces do better than others. You want newer, if it has the actual style written on the waistband, that is really helpful. And that clues me in that the piece is a newer piece because they only started doing that more recently. So the Elation, you'll get probably $50 and up. And then Salutation would be good. Wide leg, anything with new with tags is what I would be picking up, but I don't know if I would pick up things that aren't part of those categories. And then we have Vuori, which I have yet to find, but I really want to. And from them, we're talking joggers and sweatshirts and leggings too. So they kind of fit into this like athletic leggings category, but 50 bucks for this would be great. I just want to find them someday. So speaking that into existence. And then a lot of you know, if you've been following me for a while, that I love to pick up vintage pieces. So for vintage, a lot of the vintage pieces I will sell really don't depend on a tag. They're more so on the look of them. I have some guidelines for what I would suggest picking up for vintage items, because some vintage items aren't going to sell. Some of them will though. So for vintage, I sell a lot of vintage sweaters and sweatshirts for around 50 bucks. But I pick up ones that are hand knit or crocheted, embroidered. Ones that are Fair Isle print will do really well. Granny kind of styles do pretty well too. And then vintage sports. But football, basketball, and hockey are all starting up in the fall. So those are great sports teams to be on the lookout for. If you find a vintage sports sweatshirt, those can do really well. And then also colleges are a great option too when it comes to sports, because alumni are also invested in their schools, as well as people that support teams. They are really invested and they usually like to sport a piece of clothing. That's what I would suggest when you're looking at vintage. Sports really is a big part of it. I'm not super into watching sports, but I will pick up things that are really cool that are vintage sports. And then I wanted to highlight just a few designer brands for fall. These obviously you're probably not gonna find very frequently, which is why I'm not going to go very in depth on each one. But just in case you don't know some of these names, I still wanna put them on your radar. I'll put them up on the screen so you can see what the logo and the tag looks like. But I'm just gonna quickly highlight these, not even tell you how much they sell for, but these are just names you should know and that will do really well in the fall as well. So let's jump into the designers. So we have Nanushka, which I have seen popping up on a lot of fall, kind of reports of what they think is gonna do well this fall. So Nanushka, Isabel Marant, another one I haven't found, but I am seriously looking forward to the day that I do find it. Then we have Proenza Schuler, another great designer, Wales Bonner, Christopher John Rogers, which I've found one time, but it was a collab with Target. Funny thing is, I bought it in the bins and that dress still sold for over $50, even though it was a Target piece, because Christopher John Rogers is a great designer. If you find just Christopher John Rogers, that would be great. And then we have Neely Lotan, which another one I really want to find someday. Max Mara, which I recently found for the first time. Lulu Studio, that one is a new one to me. That one just came up in my research for fall and fall trends and fall brands, and that is something that you should be aware of, and it looks very interesting, and those pieces can sell for really good money too. Then we have Stod, which again, a great one. Second and Babby, that I just recently sold this month a Second and Babby dress for over $100. It was a great pickup. I'm very happy about it. Alexander McQueen. Love Alexander McQueen. And that brand just sells really well. I have one piece listed from Alexander McQueen, and I've sold one dress for I think $100 that I found at the thrift store for $5. So really good one. Anine Bing is a great one for fall. A lot of the sweatshirts from her will do amazing, like over $100 for just a sweatshirt that says her name on it. If I was her, I'd be printing those like hotcakes. And then we have Norma Kamali, a great fall brand. Again, I found her thrifting before too, but some of these are more attainable thrifting finds than others. Gucci, I have found that once in the bins, and that sold for a couple $100s. Burberry, found many times. I think you can find Burberry too. And the last one for fall is Off-White. The only Off-White piece I've ever found, I found in the bins. It was a pair of jeans and I sold it in one day for $200. So you can find some of these more interesting designer pieces, and they do really well right now this fall time. So those are some different styles, some different brands that should be doing really well as we head back to school and head into college, and just this time of year where people are getting ready to be a little cozier. I think that these ones are gonna be serving you well. If you know these brands and if you know these styles, I think you'll be doing great in your resale business this coming fall while you're selling on eBay and Poshmark and Mercari. If you guys are interested in starting a Poshmark and you haven't already, use my code in the description box, and make sure to give today's video a thumbs up and hit subscribe before you leave. Let me know in the comments what brand video you would like to see next, what category would be helpful for you guys to learn more about. I would love to do some more research and then share that with you guys. So let me know what I should do next. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next video, bye.